As your natural journey unfolds, let our products naturally assist you. Salome, your journey matters.
Available at pharmacies nationwide.
Now, there comes a time in a young girl's life where they join a collective of women globally in experiencing something that will undoubtedly affect their life. Menstruation. Now, the great thing about this community of experts or just regular women willing to lend a helping hand is that's exactly what we get. Now, joining us in studio to lend this helping hand is TV personality Candice Chirwa to discuss your menstrual cycle and Salome. Welcome to the Loft, Candice.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited for our conversation today.
Now listen, if you are beaming ear to ear, I think you need to get us all on that same wavelength. We are all looking for our perfect fit, what works for and with our bodies. So can you tell us about your experience with the Salome range?
You know what's really interesting is that I only discovered Salome range last year, and the product that I really loved is the heavy menstrual bleeding, because I am actually using the copper IUD, which is a birth control that is actually created to have heavy menstrual bleeding and also heavy cramps. And so finding Salome range that is not only so innovative, but also herbal was such a great discovery for me. And I think within the 2 months that I used the product, I discovered like my period was a bit lighter. And I also have been using their PMS range. And wow, like the symptoms that I used to experience on my period before my period started, such as bloatingness, headaches, tender breasts, actually being minimized with the PMS Salome range tablets. It's really great. And I think, I don't know how much more I need to boast about it, but I think from a personal experience, I'm really glad that I discovered it because my period is no longer an extreme sport.
Absolutely, Candice. And I think it's so pivotal to get everyone involved in this conversation and learning and growing. But why then is it so important to speak openly about menstrual health on public platforms?
When I started my period at the age of 10, that experience was so terrifying. I felt like I was going to die. I felt like I had a disease, purely because the lack of education around periods was non-existent when I was 10 years old. And although I had a conversation with my mom, it was really about just how I hide my period to ensure that no one knows about it. So there was a lot of secrecy and embarrassment around this natural biological function. And it was only when I turned 21 that I discovered that period poverty is a real issue that impacts a lot of young girls who don't have access to these products and they can't go to school. So this is a human rights issue. And I felt the need to change that narrative. I felt the need to take the education that I have learned and change the way people perceive this natural biological function. And so using my platform as the Minister of Menstruation really is it allows people to advocate and embrace this natural thing and to realize that it is a human experience. It's the same to sneezing, and we should see it that way, right?
As the Minister of Menstruation, put some respect on my baby girl's name. I love that. I mean, to encourage such participation and further learning opportunities, what have you learned from encouraging and engaging with people on your platforms about this menstrual health?
So outside of the Minister of Menstruation, I have a nonprofit called Curate. And for the past 4 years, we've been hosting menstruation workshops as a way to educate and empower not only the girl child, but the boy child. And so what we do at Curate is we edu-lift young people and saying, listen, this is your period. This is what happens every month. But let's have fun in learning about it so that we are no longer doing the usual, this is your period, don't talk about it, keep it hidden. As the Minister of Menstruation, it really is just allowing people to ask questions about anything regarding period health, about learning about new period products, learning about, period products in particular like Salome, and just engaging with the content, I think, and just embracing the fact that every month we will menstruate, and let's just either cry about it, but let's be empowered about it as well.
We constantly need to echo that menstruation is natural. It's completely normal. What would you say are some of those key factors to embracing this natural journey in life?
I think first and foremost, people need to actually understand what menstruation is. And often we know menstruation based on fake news, right? If I can put it that way. So understanding that menstruation is an unfertilized egg shedding itself with the uterus lining because you weren't pregnant, and the blood that is coming out of the vaginal opening is actually not dirty, is the first step in understanding, period positivity. But then it goes beyond that, right? It goes beyond ensuring that the people that you're surrounding yourselves with, whether it be your family, whether it be your friends, actually view menstruators in a positive light. It's just about ensuring that we embrace periods in a natural sense and not in the usual keep it hidden, keep it a shame, keep it an embarrassment. And this also is a responsibility not only on women and girls and those that don't identify as women and girls, but men as well. Cishet men who don't menstruate have a responsibility in learning about periods, in learning about period education, because they are future husbands, they are future fathers, they are future teachers, they are future leaders. And that's why it's important that we have these conversations involving them.
It's time for everyone to get involved. I've personally loved seeing this new generation of men and young women educating each other and kind of sharing that knowledge. Thank you so much for joining us, Candice. Goodbye. Now, understanding the blessing that is a community and seeing the value in getting to hear the experiences of other women, or simply just getting those tips and tricks to make managing your own menstrual cycle that much easier. With Salome, your journey matters.
On a monthly basis, all of us powerful, fierce women deal with our menstrual cycle. But why let it affect our lives?
Anywhere I go, anywhere I be.
As your natural journey unfolds, let our products naturally assist you. Live your full unfiltered life with the Salome range for PMS, menstrual pain, and heavy menstrual bleeding. Salome, your journey matters.
Available at pharmacies nationwide.